The average consumer treats a streaming stick like a toaster or a lamp, assuming it is a one-time purchase that simply works forever as long as you have electricity and an internet connection. The reality is far more expensive than most people realize because these devices are designed to be disposable assets that lose half their value in just 18 months while simultaneously acting as the mandatory toll booth for recurring subscription fees. This distinction reframes hardware depreciation not as a simple tech upgrade cycle, but as an invisible tax on your household cash flow where you pay full price for plastic and chips today only to watch them become electronic waste tomorrow. All to keep paying monthly rent for content that could be accessed more cheaply through older technology or by investing in the television itself rather than the peripheral. When we look at how quickly these devices lose value, the math reveals a pattern distinct from real estate or even vehicles where you might expect some residual worth after several years of use. Data on consumer durables indicates that streaming sticks, including Android TV boxes, Fire Sticks, and Roku devices typically retain only 20 to 30% of their retail value after 2 years and are effectively zero-value assets by year 3 due to software obsolescence as operating systems drop support for older hardware models. This means if you buy a device today for $40 the moment it is no longer supported, or when your internet speed increases requiring newer decoding capabilities that old chips cannot handle, the item has become worthless in terms of resale value, and yet you still have paid the full price to access the service. Consider how rapidly these devices transition from being premium gadgets at launch to items worth just $5 at a pawn shop or trade-in center within 3 years, proving they are sinking assets rather than investments that hold their utility over time. The reason this happens is not an accident of engineering, but a deliberate business model known as the razor and blade strategy applied in reverse, where streaming platforms subsidize the cost of hardware or sell it at near break-even prices, specifically to lower the barrier to entry for their recurring subscription revenue stream, which might range from $10 to $25 per month per account. In this ecosystem, the device is not the product you are buying. Instead, it serves as the key required to unlock the cash cow that sits behind the paywall in your living room, and without that specific hardware piece you cannot access the content library, regardless of how much money you have already spent on subscriptions over the years. Quick resource note: I keep a curated set of Amazon search links in the description for books, gear, and tools relevant to this channel's topics. Some are affiliate links, so I may earn a commission at no extra cost to you. Please consider supporting the channel by using those links if you find something useful. This trap becomes even more apparent when we look at the explosive growth in streaming adoption across emerging markets, where millions of new users are entering these ecosystems every single year, driven by affordable internet access and aggressive marketing campaigns that push hardware as a gateway to entertainment rather than a standalone appliance. For instance, subscriber numbers in India grew from 4.5 million in 2017 to nearly 60 million just 3 years later, while Indonesia saw growth from 200,000 users to 8 million subscribers during the same period, and Thailand experienced a 130% increase in subscriptions between those years, alongside a 71% jump in the Philippines, showing how rapidly these ecosystems are expanding globally. These statistics highlight that companies have successfully convinced billions of people that they need constant hardware updates to enjoy their favorite shows, when in reality most households could be accessing 90% of the same utility with older devices, or by shifting their spending from perpetual upgrades to a single long-term purchase. The solution lies in performing a specific stop-loss calculation where you compare the annualized cost of keeping your current setup against the one-time investment required for a modern television that can run these applications natively without needing an external dongle every time you move apartments or upgrade your home theater system. A standard 4-kilometer smart television has a useful economic life of 7+ years, and if purchased for $600 costs roughly $85 per year in depreciation over that entire period, whereas buying a new streaming stick every 2 years at $39 results in an annualized hardware cost of $20 to $40 just for the device alone, plus the mandatory subscription fees required to use it, which remain constant regardless of whether you own the TV or not. Over a 7-year period, this creates a clear divergence where Scenario 1 involves buying a new stick 3.5 times, totaling $136 in hardware costs, while paying subscriptions over 84 months for roughly $1,260 in total entry fees, compared to Scenario 2, which involves purchasing a capable smart television once with no replacement costs for more than 7 years, resulting in significantly lower annualized expenses. If you find yourself currently spending more than $150 per year on hardware refreshes every time your internet connection improves or when the latest model is announced, then switching strategy becomes financially superior, because treating these devices as permanent fixtures like a smart television saves households hundreds of dollars over 5 years while simultaneously reducing electronic waste that would otherwise end up in landfills. The decision to buy a new Stic feels logical in the moment because it promises faster performance and access to newer apps, but this impulse triggers hidden financial penalties every time you upgrade without realizing that keeping an older device or investing in a single long-term television purchase is actually the smarter way to manage household cash flow over the long term. The bottom line is that buying a new Stic every 2 years accelerates your depreciation losses and locks you into the platform's subscription ecosystem without allowing you to realize that treating hardware as disposable upgrades drains savings more efficiently than traditional subscriptions ever could. By recognizing this pattern and shifting toward purchasing durable smart televisions that serve as permanent fixtures in your home rather than relying on peripheral devices that lose value rapidly, you can reclaim hundreds of dollars annually for other financial goals, like emergency funds or retirement contributions, while also making a small but meaningful contribution to reducing global e-waste through more sustainable consumption habits. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. I am a one-person team working hard to make each video better than the last. Subscribe if you found value. It is the best way to show support. Drop a comment with your biggest takeaway. See you in the next video.